afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero Strike, Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Faymonville Approach between the Mo and Luciano. Fighting for America, freedom and democracy. The American dream here with the 3rd Armour Division mercenaries. We got Uncle Mo, aka Momo for short. Fighting for the Oberkommandist, Germany, Deutschland, das Vaterland. Here with the Führer Begleitbrigade. We got here heavy cavalry, recon support and mechanized support. Note this from the Simmer Balance preview, so there will be some slightly changes there. With triple infantry versus breakthroughs, overwatch and scavenge. Much more conventional doctoral choice here for Uncle Mo with Panther 4 infantry and Sturm Pioneer bulletins. Going for a double full screen start, with Luciano aiming for a double rifle start. Note here Luciano's aiming for the northern fuel point, not initially here maybe trying to catch Uncle Mo off guard, but Uncle Mo was sharper than that. In the west, so we got the rifle squad then heading for the southern fuel there by the looks of it. Sturm Pioneer seems setting up a small cordon here, basically a tripwire if you will, also just aiming sort of move towards the fuel point here, so the forces will take it more slowly. That's definitely an interesting way of doing the Oberkommandwest opening, I suppose, playing them somewhat aggressively but not too aggressively at the same time. Second Fulton squad moving out there for Uncle Mo and the German army. Where the second rifle squad there for Luciano heading towards the east, going to try and push for here again, I imagine. Almost got the northern munitions. And there you go, tripwire bases it off, alerting Uncle Mo to the fact he's going to be moving towards there, and of course giving time because he's just going to automatically try and grab it. Sturmpanzer push back the rear echelons there with a few well placed assault rifle rounds from the Sturmgewehr 44, which technically, I mean, was quite a few hundred years underway in sort of testing and prototyping. The initial sort of was the machine carabiner. 1942, which was around 1942. Initially, the Führer did not like it as he was a World War I infantryman and so preferred the Kar-98K. In fact, he to an extent based a lot of his decisions off his own experiences in World War I, as a fun fact. So, make of that what you will. We got a third Fulton squad out here for Uncle Mo. Fulton's fighting with the rifle here. 3 versus 5 here. Could go either way here depending on the rifle and the situation, and any infantry arrives to support Uncle Mo, he'll win. If any troops arrive to support Luciano, he will likely win, but beyond that a bit hard to say here since the Fulton's got more firepower but the rifle overall will have more durability. In this case, looks like Jurgen was a bit too far at the cover, that's to make himself an easier target, so there's likelihood the rifle will actually win, though it's going to take quite some time. Fulton's going to continue southwards. Here's a big push here from Uncle Mo. He's going to try and threaten Luciano's fuel, maybe drawing some forces away from the north. Still pass flanking in, but he's taking counter the rifleman. Need to pull into cover here, need to get close, otherwise at range the rifleman will win. He falls back with the Sturmpanies instead, allowing 3 hits from the Sturmpanies from the rifleman. He's trying to, I think, bait them into the effective range of the Sturmpanies. A bit more risky there by Uncle Mo. Bit risky in the south here though, pushing for the fuel point there, outmaneuvering Luciano in that area. And we got a 4th Fulton squad out here. So he's going pretty heavy on them. He's going pretty heavy on them, despite they've actually been, you know, nerfed with their veterancy. But guess he wants to test it out and see, you know, if that's going to have any sort of long-term effects. Or maybe he's just not bothered reading the patch notes. Luciano that's yet to choose a doctrine here. They're certainly the one that benefits the most since both mechanized and recon support has certainly gained a lot more teeth there. But we'll see. Try on the way there for Uncle Mo. Could be Battle Group Headquarters, could be Mechanized Regiment containing the fuel he's got. Battle Group Headquarters seems more likely. Might of course try out the new flak half track or the MD-34. Southern fuel though here secured, just needs to connect it. But it's more importantly denying Luciano fuel. We'll bring up mortars and artillery fighters to deal with the Fulton when you see it. Push them off the eastern fuel. Sturm Pines continue to grab territory. The fuel, victory points going to be harassed, and the Fulton are forced away. As the riflemen threaten too much. Alongside there, and we got. No, he is going for the mechanized regiment. So Uncle Mo here is so far just playing it like he's not about to try anything out, just going for a standard Oberkommandwest build. A lot of full scanners, and he's going to try and rush out the looks. So he might be in for a bit of a surprise there. If again he hasn't realised that one's going to take him a bit longer to get out now. So we got the captain out here for Luciano. El Capitan, and we can see there now with smoke grenades available to him once they get research for this. Trying to close on the mortar, but he has to retreat there with the full grenadiers. Sturmpani is hanging back. Of course, while they do veteranly up faster so far, Uncle Mo hasn't really, you know, put them anywhere. But again, he's been able to maneuver, outmaneuver Luciano here in the south against securing territory there. Though he's quickly losing control of the vital areas, which is including the Calf Point, I may assume. So he might have to fall back from there or redirect forces. Sometimes to go for and call in the looks, you call in MG34 in the meanwhile. That one has been buffed, so I mean there's an opponent with a lot of infantry as well. The MG34 could prove to be helpful. We shall see what ends up though. Getting the calf point. One Fulton squad left to deal with that. Fulton pushing for the mortar, pushing it away. And there you go, both squads moving for the captain here. Slowly moving in, he might want to pull up behind that plough to deny the fuel point. Well, prevent him from just capping it entirely. Of course, that would put him with the effective range, but this Fulton is wearing down the captain, so, oh well, point rendered neutral. Troops reinforcing, healing here. Moments away from the Lux Aufklärungspanzer here for Uncle Mo and the Führer Begleitbrigade. Or Führer Escort Brigade. There was also the Führer Grenadier Brigade, which was, well, basically a similar force as the other one. They were basically formed out from elements of the Wolfschanze that were basically sort of just left behind as it was abandoned, so they were formed into military units. Little fun fact there. Sturmhals pushed back the rifleman there. Fulton's following up here for Uncle Mo. These chaps need to retreat. They're about to get wiped out. Down to one man. Much blood has been spilled in defense and just attack on that fuel point. Pushing up here. Sturmpan is sweeping in aggressively. Closing on that looks, and there you go. Can go for it, but again, as you might notice, progress is painfully slow now, aren't it? I mean, not extremely like, you know, time warp slow, but pretty slow. It's going to take you now about a minute to get out the Lux. So any Lux rushes there are pretty much will help by that. And I imagine it was either that or just, you know, nerfing it somehow. It'd still be pretty good. It's just going to be much harder just to rush out and hit your opponent with it, which is really why the Lux were so dangerous. You could just easily be rushed out and just hurt your opponent pretty badly if they weren't completely ready, in particular after a successful heavy rush there. So it rather made for some unfun moments. So I can understand this, and again, they have buffed other elements, so fair enough. Fulton's fighting out from the house here. Mortar fire raining down, but not very accurately though. God damn it, Carl! I said bomb the house, not the point next to the house. Sorry. No assault rifles there for the Fulton Grenadiers. Not much else. He's waiting for the Lux, which is close already. Captain sweeping in there, pressuring his Fulton. He might pop in a incendiary grenade here to deny it, but nope. He said he's going to have to retreat now, and thusly Luciano's now, not Luciano, Uncle Mo's losing both his fuel points now to Luciano, and the third armour is following up with the Stuart there, so he's following up with like Kedenoff is anticipating a counter there, seeing the captain. So there we go, looks almost down there for Uncle Mo, and arriving to the front line. Achtung. Hitting the fuel point. Troops healing, reinforcing. And there you go, looks saying it's the captain out in the open. Going for the southern fuel point again, ignoring the north one for now. And these Fultons need to retreat. He also needs to pull back the Sturmpan from his healing because that squad is not going to be very combat able. But there you go, looks continuing to pursue it, hitting the rifleman, staying at a good range to avoid anti-tank rifle grenades. Sharp handling there by Uncle Mo. Sharp handling. And rifleman there going to rush into the Fulton as well here, out in negative cover. Small chance maybe we'll wipe, but going to be less there because Luke's also now is less accurate on the move, if I do not remember the notes incorrectly. We got the Stuart moving in here, the M5A1. Almost got wiped then nonetheless, but the Stuart days in the way. Quickly blocks the line of sight of the Lux, forcing that one away. And a quick shot cut off here by Luciano, striking out Uncle Mo's fuel supplies once more. We get a Panther fast attempt here, but it didn't quite succeed. Kedenoff following up, Luke's falling back. Some quick shot pushes here from both players, both experienced veterans. I do believe Uncle Mo has been a bit out of the game for a while, so he might also be slightly rusty, but he's so far though handling quite well despite everything. And Luciano we are also recently familiar with, a highly skilled, I believe, Argentinian player. Hitting the cuff point here. Sharp move there by Uncle Mo. He might want to consider some mines if possible at some point. He's sort of keeping a decent sort of fuel float here, ammunition float. Not entirely sure why though. But he's going to go for the battle group headquarters, which is going to make it hard for him to actually push for armour fast enough, which is where then Luciano's going to have a good chance of pulling ahead. Though Luciano, on the other hand, is not choosing a doctrine. In fact, neither side is yet, as of yet. So a bit unsure as to what either player is thinking here. Got the fuel there though. So of course, I mean, if you can maintain control of both fuel points, going for the battle group headquarters won't send him back too far. And certainly will help him with his Fultz Grenadiers, though I still think he should at least upgrade some of them. Unless he's got something else in mind. But there you go, bazookas up, firing out the looks, penetrating the frontal armour. Medic kit's down there, Schlute's going to need some repairs, 4 kills, close to it, there's 1 Fultz rushing northward, support there. It looks like he's planning a smaller scale of raid here into the south with 2 rifle squads, unless the main force he's pinning down Uncle Mo's forces in the north here. So that's going to be a pretty neat move there. That's going to deny him fuel at least somewhat and maybe gain Luciano back some. This is kind of where Uncle Mo could benefit from MG-34 to help, you know, tie up larger chunks of forces, freeing up forces for some deal with this, or actually just defend this with a single MG-34. But so far there, Rifle moving in, anti-tank on the way there to assist Luciano in dealing with the looks, since the looks obviously is still quite a threat, as we can see here, even though it arrives a minute, well, let's guess half a minute later than normally. It's still quite a threat here to Luciano's infantry, makes it hard for him to sweep around on the battlefield. So he wants to make sure he can deal with it, plus any armour that Uncle Mo might pull out. Though again, armour is not going to be an immediate priority for Uncle Mo again, since he did go for the battle group headquarters with the medics, which is reasonably fuel intensive when it comes towards getting a tank. More bazooka fire there. Luciano's actually got a lot of anti-tank weapons out there, then bazookas and anti-tank guns. He could also lay down some mines, which in fact were part of an American anti-tank team. I believe they had an anti-tank gun, a few bazookas, and those mine layers. There's a specific team for laying down mines. That's a little fun note to sort of, you know, co-op specific approaches. So far, though, I've not seen Luciano lay down any of those new mines. Those can actually help slow down the looks a bit as well. Modifying the Sturmpioneer, hitting the southern victory point as well. Looks moving in, forces here, fighting out with assault rifles. So he finally got some, but he needs to retreat there. Unless he's planning to bait there with the looks, but the looks is occupied right from the south, tearing into them with autocannon fire, ending the life there of Joe pretty quickly. And we got a squad held up there inside the old mansion. More assault rifles there for Uncle Mo. He's suddenly going heavy on them, rather than just slow there. He's just seemingly bulk buying them, hoping for a discount, but the Wehrmacht doesn't offer discounts, it can't afford it. Alright, we got heavy cavalry for Luciano, so none of the newly changed doctrines here from either side. None of that. We got Rangers for Luciano. Thompson's there available. Kenlef crewing to help deal with the steward. Puma on the way for Uncle Mo. Puma. Interesting choice there. He certainly won't be going for any armour soon. But it's only going to be a bit more swift and fleet. And so far, this is maintaining good map control. So if we can keep this up, though, it's not going to be too far behind. The problem is, if he does begin falling behind compared to Luciano, though, there's an issue there. He's going to get hit by tanks and then have nothing to deal with it with. But if he can sort of keep this up with the light vehicles and sort of pressure and also bleed out Luciano here and there, he can make it work. But it is going to be risky. It is going to be risky, and it's only going to require some deft touches there from Uncle Mo. Mortifying way there, closing in on Infantry 2. Puma setting out there with its 50mm gun, pursuing the American like it's a Panther. And the folks there are prioritising the anti-tank gun, trying to clear up things there a bit for the vehicles, it seems, but aren't quite being successful there. You probably would have a bit of luck. They've actually moved in the light vehicles. Oh, no, for mine, or maybe he was waiting for a flank there. Nice move there by Uncle Mo, but certainly can't quite take advantage of it now. Those pushing it with the light vehicles. The light anti-tank's going to get reinforced. And Uncle Mo realises this, just begins pulling back, though the looks is a bit too slow. Straight to the captain with his own bazookas. Quite a bit of action here and there. Uncle Mo remains docked nonetheless, and he's now going for a repair pioneer. So, despite having Panther 4 bulletins, he's certainly not going to be going for them anytime soon. And now he is losing a lot of map here. He's going to hand over a lot of fuel to his opponent, and lastly, this kind of strategy is going to run a few risks. It's going to certainly run a few risks here if he's not careful. And you might ask, why is he doing that if he's got the Sturmpioneer squad there? But obviously what this does is it just frees up mental space. So he can actually focus on the front line. He doesn't have to retreat the Sturmpioneers all the time to get this kind of stuff done. So he can use his drone punch more of a frontline unit, which of course they perform slightly better as, particularly once they hit veteran 3. Where this would now get a, I think, more significant boost in combat ability. But again, it just frees up the mental space, and actually just as important, so you don't have to manage as much, you just have to pay attention. Is this thing fully repaired? Right, let's get moving. So this is actually a rather big upgrade in some ways. Hitting the southern field, hitting the southern niche, and just tries to pressure the southern field. They're very good. No, Uncle Mo here isn't getting overfocused at any point at any time. Neither is Luciano, both are keeping a clear head. Focus and sort of striking at each other here, and they like looking to outmaneuver the other bastard. So real well played. Then we got a light infantry gun from Uncle Mo now. Light infantry gun. Luciano, by the way, could consider taking up now, going for some medium armor here to pressure. I mean, if he's playing for a Pershing, that's going to give Uncle Mo more time to stabilize and, maybe even pull ahead with an actual tank. So, I mean, the faster here that Luciano can begin pushing for Shermans, the better for him, I would say. Oh, he almost lost the looks there. The South Force moving ahead there. Light infantry gun is ready to support the front against those armies. There we go, veteran to 4. Can never hits the Puma. Considering to snipe there the Steward, but isn't quite keen on it. Possibly the presence of the anti-tank gun. And Panther fire goes off. Oh, it's enough to take out the Steward. They're destroying it. Puma then rushes ahead. Bit too late. That gets met with a face full of bazookas. Almost costing him this Puma there, but he can easily just pull it back here for repairs alongside the looks in the south. Volkswagen is a triumph for the fatherland, sweeping away Luciano's brave men there. So what will Uncle Mo aim for next though? Doctrine would be quite helpful though. Maybe some kind of long-term strategy here. As for Luciano, tanks will still, I think, be a pretty good idea. And playing for the Pershing would be a less good idea, in my opinion. Yeah, they have not applied those changes from the previous patch. Attempt, anyways. Another option, of course, just requiring it to have tech, but apparently really is not quite willing to go that far. So obviously with this, I mean, we can tell here Uncle Mo's worried about the arrival of the Pershing and sort of maybe wants to actually consider taking ahead now, because this is also sort of the weakness of this kind of play here. It does leave him particularly vulnerable to stuff like the Pershing Cold, and since the Puma is not particularly amazing at dealing with it, and even like Kim's going to be a bit weaker there, so he should probably consider aiming for some tech now, the, tank destroyer kind. Puma's there putting a bit of a lock then his vehicles and armour, or light armour. The south are being captured here by Luciano, who is actually... no, he's going for the lieutenant, so he's clearly aiming for a Pershing push. He's just going to push more now. In the meanwhile, with maybe some 50 covers as well, they're trying to keep Uncle Mo locked up until you can then hit him with a Pershing. So that does give Uncle Mo, if he plays correctly, a chance to get back to the field again, build up, and maybe pull out a tank destroyer. It's going to be close. There's only 2 command points left, so he's maybe got like 4 minutes roughly to sort of pull that one off. That's going to be a bit of a trick there for Uncle Mo. There's now pulling a wider north-central frontal sweep here. The south is largely left untouched, but otherwise he's pretty much just pushing the entire front here against Luciano. Luciano is buckling and crumbling. And there we go. Uncle Mo finally going for the final track, the Schwer Panther headquarters. But I think it's going to be too late, so he's probably going to have to, like, say, push out a Yak Panzer versus it. Or he could have, balls of steel and try to play for a Panther. Folks, they need to be careful. Oh, they're going to get whacked down there if they don't retreat immediately. And they did so. Final track arriving there. Mines going down to help defend the fuel point against any pushes there from Uncle Mo. Oh, not Uncle Mo, Luciano, damn it. Folks, heading southwards. Folks, are being assaulted by the captain in the centre. They should have a good chance there in heavy cover. with veteran 3 assault rifles, so the captain just moves in there. Not the best move there by Luciano. Got mortar fire the rain down in the south there, troops being slightly pushed back, though we've got the looks there trying to turn the tide, and there you go. Captain was successfully defeated, but the mortar fire pretty much makes that too much of a bad spot to remain in. Up north, we also got pressure here from Luciano, tries to get closer. Fulton and Steel Pony is buying time for reinforcements, though they are yet to appear, and the Puma there is providing a bit of assistance, but lacks the overwhelming firepower to stop a rifle squad on his own, unless it gets lucky. And the tank is sweeping in there, going up in the end. Looks plus 50 caliber on the way there for Luciano to help deal with all of Uncle Mo's infantry. Interesting enough, he used armor piercing rounds here, which doesn't do much good. He reacted off using the take aim, which would increase the line of sight and the range, giving a better chance of acting out the looks. Could have been a misclick there though by Luciano. Could have been a misclick. Coming there halfway to veteran 1. Looks here being repaired. Back at base as he sweeps centerwards, and a slight movement in the south as well. There, most of those forces active pretty much veteran 4, with some very close to veteran 5. Not the best move with the 50 caliber there, and we got even a Branham done out off there with its new fancy timer. Fix up the looks, which is close to veteran 3. And Rangers easily sweeping away the Fultz Grenadiers there. In the centre, mortar fire, artillery fire being back and forth. The Fultz are being exposed to the worst of it, and they do suffer quite a lot for it. Shroud Panther quarters up, you could go for the orbital down, which of course are now cheaper. Of course, the light machine has been made increasingly more expensive to sort of match that, but he could go for them. And he still hasn't chosen a doctrine. I mean, we're past the 20-minute mark, so there's, well, not really much benefit in Uncle Mo not choosing a doctrine at this point. Though, of course, if we go with he's rusty, I mean, that would explain it. Looks they're gaining veterans 5, but ultimately have to fall back. Norfolk's making progress in the south. Luciano obviously making progress. Troops healing, reinforcing. He could consider upgrading the Rangers with an additional BAR there. But seems like Luciano isn't interested, or doesn't think about it. Another big assault here from Uncle Mo as he tries to sweep through the south and the north open, which seems to be Luciano's launching another assault of his own with the Rangers and the Riflemen. Heavy bazooka fire there in the looks, taking the captain down to half health though. And a 5th cal there's blocking any further progress from Uncle Mo. It's a little back and forth here. Lone Fulton squad there as the Rangers. This is where an MG-34 would do him better, and he's actually floating a bit of manpower. I mean, he's even got bulletins for MG-34, so I'm a bit surprised he's not considering any at all here. There you go, veteran 5. Rangers are heavy cover, they're pretty close. This could go either way, considering there's low health for the Rangers. They still pack a lot of fire, but also it looks like they are being worn down here and need to retreat. In the southern fuel point again. Uncle Mo here, by the way, displaying, you know, again, just constant pressure on the fuel points, trying to actively deny Luciano, who's finally able to go for the Pershing. But at the same time, you see they've used to push for medium armour easily and pay, you know, done more damage to Uncle Mo. Oh. He almost got away with that mortar, almost, but could actually probably gotten away with it. He actually smoked it, but he probably hasn't thought about the fact that his light infantry guns have smoked now. You certainly haven't seen him use any smoke. Then again, Uncle Mo might just be one of those people who don't smoke. There you go, the Pershing strikes here for Luciano in the 3rd Armoured Division. Puma looks obviously don't stand much chance against that. Uncle Mo's immediate best option might be just going for the Yak Panzer. Of course, he could consider aiming for the Panther instead. We should see where he does end up here. The Doctrine would still, I think, be a really good choice here for Uncle Mo. Though what to choose from is a bit the question. In theory, you could go for Overwatch Doctrine, a few abilities there could be helpful. Breakthrough Doctrine, maybe. Or as a purpose, Scavenge for the grenades and whatnot. And he does go for Overwatch. He does offer for the Fatherland, which allows his forces to defend the territory much more cleanly, gives him more intelligence through the early warning, but also the fort receivers. And there we go, we do have the Jagdpanzer for Uncle Mo. And Obersoldaten, so all of a sudden he begins to expend all those resources. Pushing for a Panzerjäger and hardened infantry. That's going to be an interesting force composition here for Uncle Mo, Luke's Puma and a Jagdpanzer. Interesting enough, Luciano's not bothered recruiting his mortars as of yet, perhaps forgotten about it. Fifth Cavalry holding up Luciano's or Uncle Mo's troops. And nice, we've got Luke's moving, we've got the anti-tank and hanging back here. Not option could have been just laying down the smoke with his lightest infantry. Schutz. Luke's getting veteranly free though. Been doing reasonably well with it, though he needs to fall back, so Dex survives and he pops armor piercing rounds again. I think this is more out of habit than anything, just, you know, because in most cases it needs it, but it doesn't particularly do anything versus the Lukes though. Puma shoots. That needs armor piercing rounds. Have a chance versus that Pershing. My God, Friedrich, our shots keep bouncing off. Just keep firing, so it might sink through the Panther or something. And run away. But there you go. Jagdpanzer 4-70 V. Though technically it was just a Panther 470, since the Jagdpanzer was only for the initial model with just a low velocity gun. But the high velocity gun was actually just the Panther 470, which I imagine was an attempt to deceive the Allies into thinking they made a Panther 4 with the same gun as the Panther. Which obviously would have been a nightmare for the Allies, but that never quite happened. The Panther 4's turret would not have been able to handle it. Even the Panther 4 chassis struggled with it in the Jagdpanzer, as the gun was actually too heavy and it actually caused the tank to slightly dip over forward, so if they weren't careful, dirt could get into the barrel, in which case it could blow the entire thing up. Looked in the Viersons up north, taking a bazooka fire though. $139 victory points left for Luciano. Uncle Mo there at 337, so far leading, but of course under more pressure. Luciano definitely should begin taking up now though for tanks. Yes, and he's going for grenades now. Seemingly relying only on the Pershing. So depending on... Oh, there goes shot fire. This also bounces though. This also bounces. Second shot that penetrates the Pershing, and there we go. Puma also gets penetrated there in the Pershing tank. Up north, Obersoldaten secure at the point. Then we got a large rifle squad moving in. He's going to have to fall back with those Obersoldaten before they wipe out the Obersoldaten. Rückzug! Oh, shite, they're going to get wiped. They're going to get wiped. It's too late now. He's not paying attention. They're free exposed, so unless he gets, like, absurdly lucky, which he isn't, I think. Oh, or maybe he does. I just managed to pull behind them in the nick of time. That was damn close there for Uncle Mo. That was damn close. Pershing pulled back for repair. Southern field point abandoned by both players for now as they mull over plants there. Northern victory point that's got there by Luciano. And we got Fulskis flanking up behind, hitting the munitions. Dealing with an advanced captain there. With Raff now sweeping out. Actually splitting up his force. Oh, never mind. He's moving almost right from there in to deal with the Fulsk grenadiers. Obersoldaten almost good to go there. Halfway to Veteran 1. Look close to Veteran 4, which would give it access to these. No, actually, that's Veteran 5 that's present fire. Full screen in the centre being suppressed over the 50 cal with a Mardus, which gets almost away there, except for Bill, who gets blasted to bits. Pershing blasts through again there, engaging the Fulsk grenadiers with extreme prejudice. Jagdpanzer and Puma moving in to deal with it though. Both shots bounce off the Pershing frontal armour. Up north in the northern victory point, warmer Volkskunde advance here, supported by the Obersoldaten. Rather than not uncover this, let's give the Obersoldaten a good chance of doing some serious damage. And there you go. Joe gets ripped apart there by assault and machine gun fire there. And I think with all this firepower being laid down... Oh! The Raven don't stand a chance with the grab of the Pershing. It does. The Puma Jagdpanzer are not clear enough there, close enough to have a chance. 100 points left for Luciano. Close in the centre was the Rangers. Oh dear, that's not going to be a good winter for the Volkskunde. These Rangers just tearing them apart there with the Thompsons. Luke's being sent in to deal with that. Jagdpanzer slowly advancing. Pershing that takes it from Kednev, which does penetrate. Back here, healing enforcement going on for a lot of Uncle Mo's infantry here. And there you go, Fulton's rushed away. You can consider a Panther 4 sooner a Panther. More armour will definitely think benefit Uncle Mo. In particular, as it seems like Luciano is still not taking out water. He's still not bothering with medium tanks. Looks like Uncle Mo's getting up in the area north here, seemingly trying to instead to bait out the Yak Pershing into a position where Yak Pershing could deal better with it, because the problem up here, there's just too many ways for the Pershing to just get out of line of fire of the Yak Panzer and maybe outmaneuver it, whereas in the south it's a lot more open ground and a lot less shot blockers, so there's a chance here for the Yak Panzer to draw out the Pershing and then deal with it maybe, though I really should just smoke that machine gun. Never mind, gets rushed away. Moving in the opposite to deal with the Rangers out in the open there. Schnell Helmut, die Maschinengewehr! Die Maschinengewehr! There we go, veterans run for the Obersoldaten. Pershing moves down, shoot and misses. Jagdpanzer moving ahead. Pershing though pulls back, probably anticipating it. There goes shot fired and bounces off the Pershing's armor again. Luke's trying to flank in the anti-tank gun. Seems to almost pull off. There we go. Obersoldaten can tank through the anti-tank and cruise, making it hard for it to get away. There we go, another kill. Luke seems to be struggling with a Panther, trying to get behind there. The well is just completely screwing it out there. But there you go, going for it. Obersoldaten, he's almost got the veteran free anti-tank, which again pops armor piercing around to deal with the Lukes. Lukes needs to get away. They gain 24, but needs to retreat. Oh, it's going to be too late. No. Close there, very close. He tries to then pop take aim, but it's much too late here. Still good move there through the south. They're trying to take into the north here, where Luciano's prepared. He instead swept through the south, catching Luciano a bit less prepared there. Able to gain, they'll make better gains. There's over well played there by Uncle Mo. Who's now got access to sector assault if it comes down to it. We'll have to see if it does though. And it seems like he's playing for the Panther. I mean, he's saying, he could also be playing for a King Tiger, to be honest. But a Panther would be a bit more immediate, which I think is what Uncle Mo needs. Maybe close this out. I mean, he does have the victory point lead, so again, there's the theoretical option that just going for the King Tiger could work out. Lost the Volkskunde squad. He's also lost his Sturm Pioneers at some point, so Uncle Mo's beginning to suffer infantry losses. Rangers then a bit of a sticky situation that gets surrounded. Pershing sweeps in. Got the Yak Panzer responding to the arrival of the American Schwerer Panzer. Grenade popped out there. Puma trying to move ahead, but that is quickly blocked off by the Rifle Squad. 75 points left here for Luciano, getting a bit more serious for him. Grenade off against the Rifle of Volkskunde, and he's finally taken up by. He's finally being pushing for tanks there. Yak Panzer bounces off the Pershing's armor again. I think it's like managed maybe 2 penetrating hits, maybe 3, but lucky here against the Pershing. Like, most of the shots just keep bouncing out. There you go, another penetrating hit. Veterans 1 gained. Another shot bounces. There we go, another penetrating hit. That Puma moves in. Oh, actually managed to jam the turret ring there. Panther on the way there for Uncle Mo and the Führer Brigade. The North fighting goes on for the victory point there, but the Schwer Panther quarters put a stop to that. Also going for the anti-tank and crew, quickly trying to mow it down again. Almost gaining veteran 2, and there we go, gained. You could actually maybe try and snap the ambulance within Luciano's base, but Uncle Mo's having none of that. Oh, careful with the Obersoldaten, careful. Vorsicht. Looks like northwards there, trying to maybe sweep out the captain there, defending the northern field. There we go, flanking and using the increased range of the infantry forward to just push out the captain into cover. Good work. The south grenades off there, false grenades. Oh, forced retreat right past the lieutenant with low health. Small chance of wipe here though. He has an upgrade with WBR, so that would definitely, I think, been a wipe there. But we got the Panther out here for Uncle Mo and the German army. Yak Panzer waiting repairs. Alongside the Puma. Up north, Captain being slowly bled out from the house. Luciano's yet to go for any armour, though, of course, again, with the large force he has now, he's actually suffering a considerable manpower bleed, which makes it hard for him to just go for anything else. It's not impossible, considering that's largely what the manpower Uncle Mo's operated with. Pittman machine gun almost done there for the Panther, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Rangers pursuing the full gunners, Luke's moving in here. Close to Veteran Farm and that's suppressive fire. Troops suppressed here, artillery fire raining down. And suppressor fire from the 50 caliber. The Mardus, we've got the Orbital moving southwards there. Obersoldaten ready. Lieutenant trying to get closer, but there's... Oh, never mind. The 50 caliber turn that around. They're suppressing the Obersoldaten who need to retreat. Oh, down to one man. Retreat, Jürgen. Retreat. Oh, geez, mate. There we go. Retreats in time. Up north there we got the Panther and the Yak Panzer getting the Pershing. There's so far nothing seems to have penetrated either bit there. Both just pull back. 263 points left for Uncle Mo. 68 for Luciano. As Uncle Mo just keeps hitting those victory points as well. Constantly again forcing Luciano to have divert attention and resources towards dealing with that. So well played there by Uncle Mo. Well played. We got the Pershing going in for the looks. Good hit there, taking down to half health in one hit. Yak Panzer supporting. Bounces again. That Yak Panzer really does not have any good luck there. But there you go. Finally penetrating hit. Lost something, I think. Oh, he rushed in the Puma there. Perhaps wasn't paying attention, but the anti-tanker took it down. Bit of a loss there for Uncle Mo. Bit of a loss. He could maybe try and coordinate with a sector assault. You know, big push here against Luciano. That might be able to break him. Creeping on the centre victory point. 66 left there. Yak Panzer now virtually 2 shots and added. Panther looks awaiting repairs here. A veteran defense on that looks Aufklärung Panzer. And we got the Obersoldaten moving in here. Could booby trap the point, by the way. It's not a bad ability, of course, that prevent resources from sector assault if he's planning on using it. Eisbeinhand Grenade there in the south force being hit by a large force from Luciano and the 3rd Armored Division. He's just losing a lot of manpower and again just preventing him from using any fuel on tanks. Oh dear, lost the Volkskrieger squad. A bit of a loss there for him. I imagine a grenade had a hand in that. Yup, Lieutenant took it out there. Uncle Mo wasn't fast enough. We've got a Sturmpioneer squad on the way. Interesting choice. Might say Obersoldaten. Panther being slow repaired. Yak Panzer sitting out there with Obersoldaten spearheading the efforts. Pershing being slowly repaired. There we go. Looks unleashing hell. Sturmpioneer squad arriving there for Uncle Mo. And the Führer Big Light Brigade. Also, I'm trying to make a push. They're going into a lot of fire there. That is not the best move. I think there by Uncle Mo. That is not the best move. Neatly suppressed forced retreat. The south looks full scale. Sturmpioneers moving in. Rather out there getting blasted by the looks. Heavy fire incurred. Volkswagen's riflemen. Rangers actually managed to bar themselves in the house in a pretty bad spot. But there you go. Pershing arrives. Panther movement is going to need the Yak Panzer really have a chance to versus the Pershing, in particular since he's moving in his anti-tank efforts to support it. Panther bounces there. That Pershing is really bouncing a lot of shots there from Uncle Mo. Another pension hit there from the anti-tank gun. That's even without using the armor-piercing rounds. That's going to force the Panther away from his repairs here. more penetrating hits. I think almost every shot penetrate on that Panther. Yak Panther still not achieving much there. That was not the best move there for Uncle Mo at all. Not the best move. Luciano's got a large chunk again. I think a coordinate assault with sector assault could possibly draw him in there and destroy him. At least cripple Luciano. But it's going to get pretty close here. Pretty close. Heavy fire there against the Lux. Fixing up the Panther, repair pioneers, Sturm pioneers. Yak Panzer setting up for an ambush. We finally got something with Luciano. It's going to be the tank destroyed to help deal with the Panther, but I mentioned also with the Yak Panzer. Air reconnaissance by the sound of it. Yes, indeed. Luciano trying to suss out where Uncle Mo is and you know what we're planning there. Not a bad idea at all. Not a bad idea at all. Oh, the foot's being gauged here by a large force from Luciano, although comparatively larger. Grenades here. Oh! Baited him into it. Nice work there. Almost got a full wipe there against Uncle Mo. Oh dear, this could get a bit ugly here. Pershing rolling hit, but there you go, catching the Yak Panzer. Orbs on a tank direct hit. Yak Panzer lands a hit. Grenade off from the Pershing. And looks at dealing with the lieutenant and rifling up north here. No surprise with fire, but he does successfully push back the lieutenant. And there you go, Jackson arrives to Luciano. There's clearly been some sort of setup here for, I think, a kind of big battle. He's definitely got a lot of munitions floating, which again could indicate sector assault. I'm increasingly not sure if he's actually even thinking about it. And certainly not the most usability, but in theory he could, provide him with some vital support at the right time. Stukas are first to help deal with the support weapons. I guess that's one way of just taking out that bloody anti-tank gun and the 50 caliber if necessary. Though he's interested enough not using the smoke from the infantry gun to make it at least easy for him to rush the point there. Panther pulling back for repairs again. Careful that looks. Oh, spots the anti-tank and crew. Fires from an angle where they aren't quite ready. Jackson sweeps in. Yak Panzer not responding to this. Almost losing the looks to the Yak. Oh, Jackson, there you go. Yak Panzer shoots back halfway to veteran 3. More repairs and healing and whatnot going on there. Stukas was almost done there for Uncle Mo. And there we go. Stukas mobilized. Grab the center victory. Point to fight on the ranges. There you go, Stukas. What is he trying to silence? I think it's the 50 caliber he's aiming for. Oh, and he got it. He sure as hell got it. Yak Panzer's being hit. They're taking too much fire there from Jackson and the Pershing. Anti-tank gun isn't quite nearby, so that's lucky there for Uncle Mo. We could have lost it. Panther moving ahead here. He's still got the munitions for sector assault. But he's losing most of the map here. He's losing most of the map here to Luciano. And his arm pool is also needing repairs. One grenade here could be used in flashing at the Yankees. Moving in the looks though to flank them. Very good work. Pershing moving in. And there you go. Pershing arrives. 52 versus 180. 350 munitions floating by here from Uncle Mo. Starting to look pretty rough there. Bit of Uncle Mo's deftness seems to have been lost here versus Luciano. Stukas has got a bit more time on fire. He's setting up here for an engagement. I think going to send his creeping hit the Rocket there. Unfortunately, out in the open, getting grenade. Artillery fire raining down. Looks almost taken out. Oh, went down there to the anti-tank gun. Panther takes a little hits from the tank, destroying the full. And there you go. Pershing takes it. There's active veteran 3 now. Full squad wiped out. Uncle Mo's getting destroyed here. Yak Panther taking too much fire as well. Here, just too much armor piercing rounds here from the front. The Yak Panther does not stand a chance. They nerfed its armor. Buff that veteran 2. Rangers push back there. at this point does not look good for Uncle Mo. He's not using his abilities. He's not doing anything really. He's just getting too focused on the centre victory point rather than again trying to outmaneuver Luciano, which is rather one of his few options left here. But it's actually one option he's not pursuing. $108 versus 52. Big swarm there with Thompsons and BARs out there from Luciano. Stukas was ready to fire again. Firing there. He could again consider something undercover the sector assault there. Aiming for the anti-tank where it is. Oh! Taking a huge chunk there of Luciano's infantry though. Not bad, not bad. But will it be enough here for Uncle Mo, who's down to 84 versus 52, going for the centre victory point. Captain moving ahead here. No support available though. Pershing moving in. Panther not able to support. Yeah, Panther. There we go. We got a sector assault in finally. Grenade, they're almost wiping out the footsteps from the Pershing and taking out with the machine guns. Panther moves in. Oh dear, air support. First one there, plus reconnaissance. Panther taking heavy fire there from the Jackson and the anti-tank gun. Troops being suppressed. Panther down to the M1 there. Yak Panther gaining veteran. The bombing strike going down there. Takes out the Jackson and the anti-tank gun. Holy smokes! This sector assault is giving perhaps Uncle Mo just enough time to gain the centre victory point, but he's just quickly bleeding out here in comparison to his opponent. Still, he got the anti-tank gun. He got a lot of infantry there. But he needs to rush the southern victory point as well there. And he needs more infantry desperately. Whoa. That was a bit far off target. Goliath's out now from him. Interesting. And there you go. Full screen is for Uncle Mo. Big assault here through the centre. Oh, he's rushing to hit the Goliath. Oh, bombing strike! There was still one left. Almost hit the tree. The Goliath who got spotted and dealt with by bazooka up north. All on pushed back here by the Pershing. The lack of machine guns makes it very difficult for him to actually, deal with Luciano's infantry horde assaults. There's an infantry now, can't match it at all. Stukas of his barrage. 27 versus 52. He got stuck up in the major. He just needs to move to the point. Don't bother with the major, Uncle Mo. The major's a major mistake to call up. We got the kill, but not the victory point. There you go. Veteran 4 on the Yak Panther. Veteran 4. Shot bounces off the Pershing again. 15 points left. 15 points left. 9 points left. There we go. GG. Game over. A brutal battle here between Uncle Mo and Luciano. Uncle Mo in the end lost. They did start out reasonably well. I would say a rather long tech route there he ended up taking versus Luciano, which I think maybe cost him opportunities. But overall, he did pretty well. It's just the issue as the game closed out there. He just began making a lot of poor mistakes, focused less on manoeuvre instead of just raw force. He didn't use his abilities efficiently. I mean, he probably could have done more damage with a better timed sector assault. But that one turned out to be, well, pretty well timed, but maybe some more ones and soon could have done more. But also just, just not enough flanking and also lack of machine guns to help, tie down Luciano's infantry. Compared to that 150 caliber, he actually did a lot there to slow down Uncle Mo's infantry, stall him down. So I mean, that could also have done, quite I think a bit there for Uncle Mo in several engagements versus Luciano. That there was also a bit of rubbish like the Pershing just constantly bouncing off shots from the Yak Panther. That must have felt a bit better there for Uncle Mo. But again, he did reasonably well early to mid-game, but again after that point, sort of slightly went south there, allowing Luciano to pull a hit there. It's just, play it well. Though again, he's struggling in the early game. The look certainly did some work, but also just Uncle Mo's consistent outmaneuvering did a work there. But he overall just had a better force composition. The match went on with the machine guns, the mortars actually just a bit better there, plus some better ability use at times versus him. Though at the same time, his doctoral usage was a bit weak. So Not entirely sure about that, but certainly also just highlights some of the sheer power the Americans will, still have left. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with everyone. If not, send in a replay of your own. Provide some feedback in the comment section. This is Imperial Dating. Cheers. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow for another signing episode. And of course, a big thanks to all those who are supporting me on Patreon, and I hope to continue doing so. Cheers, everybody, and see you. Bye.